Hi folks, welcome to Follow the Leader, a podcast focused on telling character-driven stories through the use of GM-less tabletop games where we can all take the lead. You can find us on Twitter at FTLcast and at FTLcast.com. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/FTLcast. Today we're playing Too Many Stars by Battlestar Volk or Emily. You can find their Twitter at that handle as well as their itch. For those of you who are new to the game, here are the basics. You were in the sky when it started, in ships among the stars. The threat came suddenly, and the response was clear. Leave now. You left without saying goodbye, without looking back. Now you and your fellow pilots returned to circle the planet you once called home, and something went wrong. And now you're stranded. The threat remains, and the few groups of survivors who remain are either suspicious of your arrival or angry at your departure. So that just leaves you, your crew, and the ruined wasteland of somewhere that used to be home. This is a game using the no dice, no masters system of belonging outside belonging. It's built for 3 to 5 players and can be completed in a few hours. It's loosely based from the Caprica episodes of the reboot of Battlestar Galactica with influences of Community Recovery from the Walking Dead TV adaptation and Station 11 by Emily St. John Mantle. You are a group of space fighter pilots stranded on the destroyed remains of your homeworld, still inhabited by the threat that decimated it. I'm Jade, and you can find me at JadeOxfordRose on Twitter, and my pronouns are they, them. Playing with me today, we have...
Hi, I'm Danielle. I use she or they pronouns, and you can find me on the internet at RedtailTalk90.
Hi, I'm Sam. You can find me on Twitter at SAKalo, and you can find my portfolio at www.samkalo.art. If you don't type the World Wide Web bit, it just tells you it can't find the website because it's weird and broken and I don't know how to fix that. I use he, him pronouns.
And I'm August. You can find me on the internet at Harpydora on Twitter and itch.io, and my pronouns are they, them.
And you can follow our podcast guild, Stones_Standing, on Twitter, though we are Standing Stones, and there you can find out about the myriad of other podcasts we do. They are numerous, as well as find out about our affiliates. Our lines, which are things we absolutely do not want to see, are... no, it's not that bad. Homophobia and transphobia, racism, sexism, anti-Semitism, all the isms, violence against children and animals, sexual assault, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, unwanted pregnancy, self-harm, and plagues and pandemics. Our veils, which are things we're fine with addressing but will just fade to black on, are steamy situations, graphic descriptions of bodily harm, and terminal illness. Now that we've got all that, let's get started.
Woo! I don't remember what our theme song sounds like anymore.
Oh, it's going to be the sci-fi one.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So, to begin with, you read the game through completely. Some early choices may invalidate later parts of the game. You may want to adjust accordingly, XYZ. We've done some of our prep ahead of time, mostly character things. What we do need to do here on mic is talk about the threat and establish where we are. So, the book gives us a few options to talk through. So our threat could be something from the skies, vengeful androids, far distant aliens, a sudden space anomaly, or perhaps it's spread from the ground, a sudden plant mutation, or an invasion, or is it undefined to be discovered throughout the story? We talked a little bit beforehand, and what we currently have written down is Eldritch Kaiju.
Very sexy, very cool.
Because I was on my bullshit, I sort of started paraphrasing the Pacific Rim opening intro from one Raleigh Beckett and Charlie Hunnam doing whatever that accent was. And, but yeah, and everyone sort of liked what I hit on. So the idea that we had was that a portal got torn open from another dimension right through the center of the moon. And the moon kind of...
Oh, you mean like what's happening to our moon right now, where there's a weird crack in it?
I didn't know that when I suggested the thing. This was a few days ago. But yes. So it's like there's basically like a portal in the remnants of the moon, and like there's shattered pieces of the moon around this swirling portal in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And weird sort of eldritchy kaiju come out of it.
Hell yes.
Yep.
Think like Samiel from Hellboy, but bigger. So, you know, eldritchy, like dragony sized beasties and fun Godzilla with more tentacles, I guess. Stop it, kaiju fans. I'm looking at you. Stop having a good time. These are baddies. These are the bad guys. I see you. I see you. Okay. Is everybody happy with these? How long ago did that happen? Because we have like a range of ages in these characters. Is this just like an aspect of the solar system? Or did this happen? Is this enough in the future that isn't necessarily... Or maybe other portals opened and the threat to Earth was because a new one opened via the moon?
So we have established that it is like Earth and not like whatever planet we come from that isn't Earth. It's like we're all Earthling humans. So this is a civilization where the sort of human space empire is centered on Earth still.
That was just the vibe I got from reading the playbooks through. Doesn't have to be.
That's fair. Yeah. No, I was clarifying. Like, I'm not, like, calling you out or anything. That was just me being like, okay, so I guess that means extrapolating from what we've decided that this is also true.
Sure. I mean, August came up with that we were off planet whenever this catastrophe happened, and we were called back as reinforcements, but were too late. Mm-hmm. And then our fleet got taken down, and we were the only survivors of our ship, and people hate us because we were too late. What if further into the solar system this happened first, and that's why we were part of the deployed, and maybe it's been going on long enough, and portals have been opening increasingly closer to Earth.
Like it.
And the big threat that happened was the one that ruptured the moon. And that's the big catastrophe that was like, everyone needs to get back now.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like that.
Alrighty. As a group, we need to pick 2 to 3 dangers. As we are back on the ravaged Earth, we can decide maybe where in the world. There is the option to create a map. We don't have a Roll20 for this, but we'll figure something out. But yeah, so...
This is a belonging outside belonging game, so
we
gotta do some map building.
The one thing that we've got highlighted at the moment as one of our dangers is it comes at night. I think it was you, Danielle, that said about like the moon, effectively, the Earth turns, the moon effectively would have risen, and the creatures can move.
Yeah.
Whatever they are. Nice. Other options we can choose from, if anybody likes any of these, are scorched earth, poisoned water, toxic soil, radioactive air, unrelenting sun, acid rain, guard patrols, surveillance, unpredictable weather, supernatural elements, beware of the wildlife, and suspicious bite marks. We need at least 1, maybe 2 more. We also have visuals to pick, so everyone's going to get a chance to sing out on something they like.
Since these are kaiju, I don't think that suspicious bite marks are necessarily something that are on the table, but
that's fair.
Like unpredictable weather could be fun, or beware of the wildlife because of like I remember in that like relatively recent Godzilla movie, like there were like fleas or giant ticks or whatever that were on one of the kaiju that could split off, I think.
I like that.
I was about to make a joke about, suspicious bite marks doesn't have to be on alive people. It could be, this person was bitten in half. That's odd.
I also like unpredictable weather if like the moon is fucked and it just like dicking around with the tides and gravitational, so it's like messing with the weather like hardcore.
That sounds fun.
But I also like beware of the wildlife, especially like things you see a lot like when the sun doesn't go down. So it's like nocturnal animals obviously have a hard time of it. So just like the impact of being around like this eldritch energy and also the day-night cycle being stranger or just like it's maybe messed with earth wildlife and also new wildlife has come as a result.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
All right. Well, you can choose 3 to 5 visuals. So this is sort of being like, where have we crash landed back on Earth? I suppose is a thing to think about. But the visuals it offers up: tall buildings, empty roads, abandoned cars, frozen in time, shattered windows, cloudless skies, long grasses, thin streams, dense forests, lone cottages, empty suburbs, fenced areas, rolling farmland, safe houses, and campfire remnants. Also, I suppose, what kind of setting do we want to be in?
It's a good question. I mean, part of me wants to say like sort of like thick jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the jungle itself is trying to kill us.
I'd be down with like jungle or somewhere that. Oh, here's the thing. What if it's like we assume we're on one of the jungles, but it's actually where wildlife has, where plant life has sort of taken over a part that maybe wasn't, so we could find elements. Go, I thought we were like in the Amazon, just like, nope. That's a drain cover. Like the one.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
So
dense forests for one.
Oh, wait. I need to change my stance, I think, because I just realized like what it actually means, not what I thought it meant.
Fair. I like fenced areas as a thing that we discover. Because that could be like one of our first clues that maybe we aren't where we think we are.
I like that.
We can always recreate that one scene from Jurassic Park if we want. I think I referenced that in another recording recently. I'm sorry. I have 5 points of reference and I will use them all.
You're so valid.
Long grasses, I guess, could be a part of it. I also personally, I like campfire remnants. But, if we want to double down on this being a different place than we think it is, we could have any of the more urban-y visuals. We just haven't.
Yeah.
And we can have a scene of us coming across
We haven't found them yet. Yeah.
I mean, it's belonging outside belonging. That could maybe be one of the early scenes we have is, coming across something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
So what's the first thing we find? Is it a building or is it like an abandoned car?
I think it would be fun to, find an abandoned car, because that's not necessarily, that doesn't necessarily give it away right off the bat.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't necessarily mean, it's not like we're finding infrastructure. Is that what you're sort of saying?
Yeah, we don't find infrastructure at first. It's just there's a car, so it's okay, we thought this was uninhabited, but it isn't.
Cool. Do we want to pick another visual, or are we happy with those 3? We can always add to it, I guess.
I do think I want to include tall buildings.
Cool.
At some point.
Yeah, maybe not at the beginning, or we may not see them on screen even, but
they're there.
I like the visual of coming out of the trees and seeing these overgrown buildings.
I like the idea of thin streams also, where it's just the water here is not we're not living by a big pond or by a lake or something. All of the water sources we have are either rainfall driven streams or, stuff like that.
I like that. Alrighty. The last thing we have to decide is how long has it been since we were stranded here? The options it gives are 10 minutes, a day, a week, a month, longer? Question mark? I want it to be longer than a day, for sure.
Okay.
Maybe a week or a month.
Somewhere in between those?
Yeah, I like the idea of maybe a couple of days.
Yeah, I think maybe a week.
Yeah.
Okay. How about a work week?
Yeah.
So not a full
It's
7
5
days. But yeah.
Yeah, because if we don't know where we are yet, then we can't have come very far.
It could be 4 days, because I'm just thinking like the ideal work week.
Yeah.
All right. It does suggest that we build a map to indicate where our pilots were first stranded. Your map may be more fleshed out the longer the pilots have been stranded, and you may want to create past incidences and confrontations to add a note on the map. We could just come up with like a list of locations and stuff like that. I appreciate that drawing directly into a G-Doc is hard.
Oh, I was going to say, like, we can draw directly into the G-Doc, right?
You can, but the drawing tools within are bad.
I will take this up. I will draw us a map.
Cool.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay. So we've got sort of an idea of our biome. It's like humidity. Is it cold humid or hot humid?
Cold humid sounds like a fucking nightmare.
All humidity is a nightmare.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that could be part of, like, the unpredictable weather, too, is, like, we think we're somewhere that should be warmer than it actually is.
Yeah, just the plant life hasn't died off yet.
Dig it. Now, everyone has picked their playbook, and we have to pick a stance. I do like this. Each player should have a unique playbook unless you need to discard playbooks for any reason. Pay attention to which aspects you wish to share up front and which you'd like others to discover and play. When it comes to choosing bonds, you should ideally choose 2, and feel free to write new ones. Oh, my bad. If you want to proceed with a different tone to the one this game provides. Choose a stance. This is a conviction your character will hold at the start of play and may change to a different one throughout. It doesn't have to be explicitly shared with the others if you choose not to. If you'd like to add another option, ensure the group agrees this collectively and that it's available to every player to choose. There's also a token mechanic in this game, so everybody remember to keep track of your tokens as and when you start earning them and spending them.
So, corollary question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do we have our mechs with us?
I would like to say yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are they in working order, though?
Well, that can maybe be discovered. But like, I like the thought that the mechs were like launched as part of thing, or as part of the attack on the fleet that took out the rest of the fleet. Like, if these are mechs that can work in space, they can probably handle coming down through Atmo. So,
I have drawn us a mech.
Excellent.
beautiful.
It's laying on the ground because it's broken.
Alrighty. Well, I like that, because like we've said, we've been here like maybe 4 or 5 days. Like, we've spent time setting up where we are, establishing what's broken, what's not, and all that. All right. Let's introduce some characters.
Yeah.
Are we gonna? Do we want to do the map or?
Well, it just says you add your visuals, don't you? So
Okay, so I guess I'll add some.
a lot of this stuff we've talked about how we haven't discovered it yet. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these just could be question marks everywhere.
So did we like create a hole in the canopy when we crash landed? Do we think?
Yeah. For sure.
Definitely.
So yeah, this is all forest. I'm just not drawing it because that would take forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've drawn our crash site sort of in the middle of our map. We'll be sharing this map on Patreon.
We can maybe we could release it with the tweet, with the episode, and drop it as like a follow-up tweet.
Yep.
All right. Yes. So characters.
Right. Yeah. So I am playing the fighter playbook. You joined after day 0, but you're no rookie. There's a fire behind everything you do. You live for the grind. You'll practice again and again and again to make up for lost time. In the cockpit, in the ring, on the ground, you will fight for your place and for what you believe in. Maybe you don't have a death wish, but to the team, it sure feels like it. The fighter is a fierce pilot, and they are dedicated, silent, and stubborn. So I am playing Flaky Gathan, goes by Kiki. She uses she, her pronouns. And her stance is, we need to survive, and the survivors aren't interested in us. We should work together to build something new. Her call sign is Mamba. Her look is ripped, well-maintained, but not enough material to properly repair anymore. She is a large, buff woman with kind of Pacific Islander features, and in terms of light brown skin and dark, straight hair. She wears her hair long and up in a ponytail. A conversational topic you'll soften for is memories of family. Combat style is powerful and skilled. In a fight, what can your opponents exploit? I have more power than aggression.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty. Do you want to tell us about your mech as well?
Yeah.
And we'll share bonds once everyone's introduced their character.
Yeah. So my mech is called Calamity. It's rugged and big, probably somewhere in the order of like 30 to 50 feet tall. It has shields on each arm and carries a laser cannon. The hands have very powerful vice grips to grab and hold enemies, because she kind of acts along with her co-pilot, kind of like the tank in the group, to be the forward force that prevents the opponent vanguard from getting to us.
Dope. I'm using the Old-Timer playbook. This was your last run, the last time before you retired. You had it all laid out. The beach house, the fishing, the emptiness. You've seen it all. You've lost just as much as you've won. Every situation is one you know you'll handle because you've inevitably come by it before. You have no tolerance for cockiness. Those who display it don't live long. They just leave the scars on you instead. The Old-Timer is a careful pilot who is skilled, serious, and calm. I'm playing Juniper Aurelios, and her stance...
Kitty.
Sam, I swear to Christ. Juniper's stance is we should continue to try to join a community on this ground and survive in this new home. Her call sign is Electo. Her look is worn and modified / customized. She is a tall, slender black woman. Her hair is pretty much all grey now, even going white in places. Worn sort of kept short on the sides, but with what might have been a short like mohawk at some point is now growing out and is long. Glasses, dark eyes, scar on one side of her face, freckles. She does smile. I think she's one of those people that looks very serious up until the moment she smiles and sort of lights up the whole face. And she does smile actually pretty easily when it's not a serious situation. Like, she's not a dour person. A vice she misses is music. Something she's hiding. An injury. Specifically, a reflected electrical charge has permanently messed up Juniper's heart, giving her arrhythmia and palpitations. She has meds to control it, but she's running out. Really, she needs to have corrective surgery, but she was waiting until, after. I feel like a doctor in the fleet was like giving her medicine on the sly to help maintain the problem and keep it manageable.
Oh no.
So, but none of you know about this. So, and the loss I will never forget is my brother and co-pilot Drew, who died maybe closer to the beginning of the conflict. And her mech is Artie, a hunter mech 20 feet tall with 5 highly articulated limbs resembling a tailed primate in shape. It's designed for traversing varied environments with tracking and scanning software and sharpshooting. And what that looks like rather than a cannon is something that looks like something done with light and propulsion, and it looks like it forms a bow, an arrow. So it's not, but it looks like it. So, and that's Juniper.
So I am playing Bersion Gotthilder. I've played her on a live stream before. I'm playing the Captain Playbook. You are the leader in rank, if not in person. You have your stars, and you have every intention of keeping them. You're not shy to pull your rank to get people in line, and you'll use your authority to end an argument. You're the first to delegate in a situation. People can trust you to make a quick decision when it comes down to it, but that doesn't always make it the right one. The structure of the ranks is where you feel most secure, and you don't know what that means for you now. Her stance is we should continue to try to join a community on the ground and survive in this new home. Her call sign is Mama Bear. Her look is tall, severe, and proud. Her leadership style is authoritative, but not, like, authoritarian. An item that I've gained since the stranding, an animal companion.
Yes, good.
Oh my gosh.
And I'll go
Sam.
into that a little more. Yes.
Oh, okay, I was going to say I need to know what this is, but if you're going to get into it in a moment, that's fine.
I'll get into that in a moment. I got this captaincy from a convenient death, R.I.P. Miva. Burst is a OC that is deeply tied to Miva backstory. They are sort of linked together in many, many places. They are married, but here they may have been married, but it doesn't really matter because Miva's fucking dead. And Miva was also her co-pilot in her mech. My lure is when somebody asks for my opinion and not my decision, they get a token. I don't know if you were reading our lures, but I have read mine. And my mech is called Oreen, and it is made in the form of the beasts that we're fighting.
Damn.
Love it.
And it was originally, again, co-piloted by Miva, and so it is now a useless hunk of metal.
How big is it, do you think, Sam?
It is smaller than the beasts that we're fighting, but it is the form of the beasts that we're fighting. So it's like a smaller version of... Because, like, the beasts that we're fighting, the things that we're fighting are, like, fucking massive.
Yes.
It's not that big. It's more for, like, flying... It's definitely a flying machine of some sort, but, like, flying in a more sort of agile way than the things that we're fighting, which I guess I've just decided can fly.
Okay,
So,
I've got a pitch for you then.
Yes.
As Burst knows that she's not going to be able to fly this mech solo, are we, like, as it's the biggest of the mechs, are we, like, living in it? Is that what we're using as our
Ooh.
shelter?
I mean, like, we also do still have the ship that we crashed in.
I mean...
Or do we? Yeah, fuck it. I don't know if it's quite big enough to live inside of, but I do like that as an idea.
I mean, like, we sleep in there. Like, it's the place we can be secure at night.
I kind of dig that. You're right. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
So I guess now I have to figure out what the beasts that we're fighting fucking look like, because now I have to draw that on our map. Thanks a lot.
Look up Samael from Hellboy, because I'm imagining that, but bigger. Or the Moon Dragon from Kubo and the Two Strings.
Ooh, that's fun. Oh, this is interesting looking. Yeah, I mean, like, I was imagining, like, your fucking stereotypical dragon, because that's, again, the canon that I'm pulling from my character. But I do like this sort of weird, beastie thing. The use of the moon dragon from Kubo and the Two Strings?
That was one of the visuals that I suggested. There's one saved in the channel a little bit further up.
Oh, that would be easier.
While Sam gets that, August, did you want to introduce your character?
Sure. So I am playing the Rookie. It was meant to be your first run on board the main ship when the order to leave came. Your whole life is still messily entwined on your home world, dinner plans you still had, subscription deliveries you hadn't canceled, an unchanged voicemail. You know you deserve your spot in the team. You worked for it just as hard as anyone else. And maybe that makes you take risks you shouldn't. The Rookie is a nervous pilot, and they are meticulous, risky, and determined. Her name is Marnie Sands. I have not played her before. She is a new kid. Her call sign is Sharkbait.
Whoa.
Thank you.
I'm gonna do it.
I know. And that is fine. I'm right there with you. Her look is ill-fitting. She's kind of like average middling height, olive complexion. She has bright blue hair with neon green tips that are absolutely not military standard. And her uniform looks like it's cut for someone about 2 inches broader than she is.
Is she okay?
She's fine.
I'm assuming she was just given this uniform and
Yeah.
it's slightly too big rather than she's lost muscle mass.
Oh, I thought maybe, I was imagining that she, had taken the uniform from somebody else because she maybe lost her own uniform.
I mean, that does sound like something that she might do, but no, it's just like what she was issued just doesn't fit her well. Like, they were out of her size that day, and now there's no way to get something that fits better.
Amazing.
She has a lucky charm, which is an action she performs. She actually has a very specific sequence that she has to button her uniform jacket, and if she doesn't do that, she will freak out. Something that she knows better than anyone is she knows how to sense when the threat is near. She signed up to be a pilot because there was a lack of alternatives, and her stance is that we need to return to the fleet by any means necessary. And when someone asks you about your old life, they gain a token.
Alrighty. I just want to quickly state that Juniper's lure, is when someone asks for an old story, I gain a token.
Kiki's lure is when someone asks you to show them how to spar, they gain a token.
That's very good and gay.
It is so good.
Alrighty. And now we're going to do buttons.
Yeah.
So if we bounce to the top, Danielle, who are Kiki's bonds?
So my first bond is I have hidden feelings for Juniper and it is clouding my judgment. And my second bond is I can neither trust nor respect Burrs and this will bubble to the surface.
Rude.
Oh, I just saw in brackets afterwards and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Juniper's bonds. I see a lot of myself in Kiki, and Marnie can ask me anything, and I will tell her the truth.
My bonds are Marnie cannot be trusted to make her own decisions, therefore I must mentor her. And I know Juniper has better command of this group than me, and I need to prove myself. Juniper does not know this, but that's okay, because I do.
And my bonds are, I know I can match Kiki, I just need to be given the chance. And it's hard to put aside my admiration for Burrs and focus on her arguments.
Okay, I'm gonna, before we get in, we'll see if there are any scenes that people want to do, as this is belonging outside belonging. One of the cool things that Too Many Stars has is events that can be triggered. There's the option of the threat, which we can pick up if one of the pilots takes a careless action during a risky move and it gets them into trouble. There's the option of running into survivors. So if one of your pilots spots something on the lookout, there's one called Cash, which would work quite well with some of the stuff we were discussing in world building. Pick up when you're on the road for a long time and you need a bit of hope to see you through. And there is Contact. Pick up when technology around you comes to life unexpectedly. And there's like with the world building, there are moves inherent to it. There are modes, or there's a question to answer about it. And, yeah. So that's all of the setup. You know who we are. You know sort of where we are. Let's get to scening if everyone's feeling good about it.
Yeah. So this is the map we've got so far. I don't know how many of you guys are actually, like, viewing.
Yeah.
I am, yeah.
Okay, good. All of you are. Here's the map.
Looking good.
I've been switching between the map and a page of doodles.
Yeah, it looks good.
We've got some fucky something here. Maybe this gets little wings, too, because it flew at one point.
Okay, important question. We've established that one of the dangers is it comes at night. Have we experienced that yet?
Ooh, that is a good question.
Like we said, we've been here maybe 4 days. This could be like day 5.
Yeah. If we have, well, there are two options, I think, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Either one, it's been a new moon, and so the moon hasn't been out at night. And, it's just going to start to wax so that things can happen. Or potentially, two, because we've been inside, maybe we've heard some things prowling around outside, but we thought they were like, oh, that's a jaguar.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to a terrifying creature.
Mm-hmm. I dig that. I kind of like the notion that certain phases of the moon, even though the moon is mostly gone, because the moon isn't actually ever gone, it's just like to do with like the shadow cast by the earth on what's left. I like the notion that depending on the angle, you aren't the area you're in isn't gonna show it.
Yeah.
So like when it would have been a full moon, that's when the big shit comes through. Because it's bigger. Like almost like the portal is shifting. So, but I like the notion that maybe we've had a lucky couple of days because the moon or the portal hasn't been in the right alignment or whatever. So, I dig it.
Cool.
Too many of us have chosen to play like very square-jawed, tall women, and now I'm struggling to like diversify their character designs enough while also keeping them as square-jawed, strong women.
If it helps, Marnie has a round face.
Thank you.
Do you have an idea of a face claim at all?
Yeah.
August?
I do not.
That's fair.
I'm super bad at face claims.
Face claims are hard.
Yeah.
I don't ever bother. I just draw a character.
Not all of us have that.
Well, aren't you Mr. Fancy Pants? Mr. Fancy Pants went to an art school.
Mr. Fancy Pants with my useless degree.
Hey, I got a drama degree. Fingers crossed.
I mean, I have a studio art with a focus on fashion design and animation degree.
That sounds dope as hell.
It's really not. What it means is I designed my own curriculum, and I didn't take like classes in any one particular study, but the most classes that I took were fashion and animation. Because I didn't really design anything. I just sort of took classes I thought were interesting and then ended up with a lot of animation and fashion design stuff.
What I will ask, actually, is how old, give or take, everyone's characters are. Like, we know our playbooks, but, like, that doesn't necessarily mean much in a military setting. Like, how sort of old are you picturing your character?
I think Burse is probably, like, either... I'm trying to decide whether she's, like, late 20s, early 30s, or, like, slightly more in the mid-30s. I think, like, early 30s.
I think Kiki is late 30s, early 40s.
Juniper is late 40s, early 50s. I tell you kind of how I imagine, it's not quite right, but for a vibe, imagine like Captain Mahoney from like the not very good Matrix sequels. But like that kind of energy, but like a black lady.
I think Marnie is probably like 22, 23, freshly dropped out of college kind of age.
She baby. Nice.
Oh, I think Marnie's gonna be like, I don't know if there's like a female equivalent of a twink, but like that.
But yes.
We have all these buff women. I don't think Marnie's one of them.
Oh no, she absolutely is not.
So I don't know if Juniper's like necessarily like buff either, but Junie is I'm gonna keep calling her Junie because I suck. And she hates it.
When I think about her build, I think of sort of more like a runner's build. Like
yeah, exactly.
Like a gymnast, sort of like muscular, but on the sort of more slender side of things. Yeah.
Wiry
muscle.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've just got two tall, buff, square-jawed women.
And we got a tall, skinny lady. And then Marnie is here, who is short and cute.
Here. Marnie is our...
She's not...
So
she's not short.
She's tall and soft.
Yeah, she's like 5'7"-ish. Like, she's not short. She's average height. I'm trying not to play another short character.
Short king.
Alrighty. Yeah, Junie's just like just over 6 foot tall, but has that because of the wiry look. The hair definitely adds some height as well.
I love it.
Okay, I think I might have a scene idea.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Hit us up.
So I think it's night, and we mostly are turning in for the night, maybe are doing kind of final preparations for bed, and getting a snug in Burr's mech.
Her name is Aureen.
Aureen.
The mech.
The
The mech's
yeah.
name is Aureen.
Aureen. Getting ready to sleep in Aureen. And something about the particular dynamic that's happening tonight, I think, has made Kiki uncomfortable. So her bond with Burrs is that she neither trusts nor respects her, and I think that that's because of grief. I think that she had a really strong relationship with Miva and can't deal with Burrs kind of taking Miva's place, even though, like, Burrs also had a really good relationship with Miva, or at least a really close relationship. But she can't, on this particular night, you know, she's having a hard time, and I think she leaves the mech to go get water or something. That she's giving an excuse in order to get away and have some space for a second or two.
That's fair.
But I think that the sun has gone down, and it's very quickly getting dark, because once the sun gets lower than the trees, we're in this jungly area, like, there's nothing else to provide light, really, besides the mechs. And
I think Aureen's headlights are on. See, so by
Is it
headlights,
the
I mean the
eyes?
eyes. Yeah, I was gonna say the eyes are just, like, lit up.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
So there's, like, this bubble of light beyond which we can't see. And I think it's getting dark, and this is the first night that the creatures are coming out.
Okay, let me just scroll down to the threat.
Mm-hmm.
They're here. A trudging of robotic legs, a thunder of horses, skittering drones, a creeping plague. You've been running away from it this whole time, and now you're cornered. Oh, this doesn't sound quite right. This sounds more like this is a big thing. So let me quickly look and see what else there is. Okay, I don't think it's quite that, because, yeah, I think this threat is like the big threat.
Yeah.
Looking at the stuff that's in there. So, I don't know, what do people think? This is page 23 in the PDF.
I forgot that Belonging Outside Belonging games also have moves for the environment.
Yep.
I think this is the version of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to think laterally and to interpret these moves as strictly or as loosely as your threat allows. Maybe it's not a capital T threat at all.
Alrighty. So we need to choose two out. I suppose we can pick it as they go along. But there's a whole list of outcomes that there's the option.
They're really good. I really like that addition.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Martine definitely pings onto it first. Like, maybe she's unbuttoning her jacket in her specific way, and then, like, her head snaps up, and she's just like, we need to batten down the hatches now.
Is this the first time Marnie's done this with this group? Oh, I suppose not, because you co-pilot with Kiki, so...
Yeah. I think Kiki knows that Marnie has, like, the sense of when the threat's going to do something, because, like, you know, they've been in the same mech before. So Kiki knows, but this isn't something that's necessarily had to come up with everybody else.
Alrighty.
All right. I mean, because Marnie, you know, is under my command, would I know that you have a sense that of when the bad boys are on their way? Is this something that you report to me, like, frequently, or?
No, I think it's just something that Marnie noticed while she was, like, assigned to Kiki, and it's something that they've just been using to maybe get out of scrapes that they shouldn't have been able to get out of, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Like, it's not necessarily that she's been keeping it a secret, it's just like, it's a thing. You know, it's like, it's a fact of herself, like, oh, I have green eyes, but you don't go around telling everybody, like, you have green eyes.
That's fair. But yeah, you go, we need to batten down the hatches, and I just sort of look at you, like, did you hear something?
Listen, I can't explain we need to make sure to close up shop because we're gonna have some trouble here soon. And I don't know about you, but I'm not sure I want to go punching anything right now.
I'm just gonna sort of raise my eyebrow at you, cause like I trust you, kind of. No, I don't. I don't trust you to make your own decisions. But, you know, I'm just sort of giving you a, so you just know.
I mean,
can you give me something a little bit more? Sorry, I'm still sort of settling into this accent too, so
No,
like
you're
it'll change a lot over the course of this episode, I'm sure.
Marnie just kind of shrugs a little, and she's like, I mean, I think they're coming from that way, and she points generally like toward, let's say, the west. She points generally toward the west, and it's just like, I mean, it's just a thing. It's like my feet tingling.
Hey, Danielle, which direction did Kiki walk off in?
Oh, the west.
Downstream? Which happens to be
Downstream.
west?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Sort of a southwesterly downstream. This is like a weird sort of like isometric but not really view, because I'm not good at drawing maps.
Can you stick like a little W in the what we've just now decided is west? Like just like
West.
an arrow point. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So
I
yeah,
have poor spatial awareness.
no worries.
Mood.
So Kiki's gone this way, sort of down the stream. So yeah, Burst is just gonna look at Marnie and say, sorry. I suppose there is nothing to lose but from listening. And she nods, and then she starts yelling orders like, all right, fuck. Get everybody inside, all this, I just didn't even try to do my accent there.
Maybe read the call signs and see if, like, shape them out. Because if she's switching
Yeah.
into, like, boss
Commanding mode, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
using the call signs rather than the names.
Mm-hmm. So, Electo, make sure everybody gets inside. That just fucked up into whatever accent that
The
was.
Scottish is strong.
The Scottish accent, because it's the only accent I'm, like, really, like, strong on. But, like, not even that. Get everybody inside. There we go. Sharpie. Again, with the fucking Scottish. And Sharpie. Where is Mumba? Where has she gone? Again with the Scottish. I mean, and at our next break, I'm gonna fucking, like, watch some more accent coaching bullshit. Cause my brain just fucking shut down. But yeah, it's like, where's Mamba? I'm gonna just drop the accent for right now and I'll come back to it later. I'm paraphrasing. This isn't what she's actually saying. She just starts, like, command yelling, and this is when we notice that, of course, Kiki is not here.
Yeah. And, I've got a question. Like, do we have, like, sidearms?
Yes.
Okay. This is probably irrelevant, but, like, are they projectile sidearms, or are they, like, beam weapons?
What do we like more? We know the Calamity is armed with a laser cannon, and, like, Juniper's weapon on her mech fires sort of more like energy. I haven't quite decided what it is yet.
Ooh. How about they are projectile weapons? Because that means ammo is extremely limited.
Yes, good. Love that.
Yeah. I do have another question.
Mm-hmm.
Are we the only people here? Did any of the rest of the ship crew? Were we it?
We're it, I think, is that... I mean, we're the ones that we know about. Maybe other people made it out of the fracas and elsewhere, but in this location of the fleet, I think it's just us.
Yeah. Cool. So Marnie definitely, like, pulls out her sidearm, like, checks the clip, checks the safety, and is just like, I gotta go out there. I don't know where she went, but I gotta go out there.
Burst is just, like, rubbing her forehead, like, we do not want to lose anybody else. If she is gone, then she's gone. And we don't have the manpower to send more out there. If she comes back, she comes back. But
There are 4 of us, Captain. We go down
and
one.
there will be 2 of us if we send somebody else out there and they die. Are you willing to take that risk? Because I am not willing to take that risk. We have lost too many people already.
I think. How tall is Byrne? I assume tall, but
Burst is like tall. I mean, like in her original canon, she's like 8 or 9 feet tall, but like in like
now she's a human.
now she's a human, so she's probably like 6'5" or 6'6".
Okay, so Juniper sort of looks up at her
Yeah.
and just sort of like the pierced eyebrow is raised, just like, you're trying to tell me about loss. Okay, sure, buddy.
We've all lost people. Shut up.
Yeah, well, yeah, but also,
that wasn't in character, obviously.
yeah.
And I'm just gonna give you a look, like, yeah, what of it? How many people did we lose just when we were crashed, like just as in the crash? In the battle, like, fucking what of it?
I'm well aware. Maybe we could flash the lights on Aureen. I'm sure Kiki isn't far away. I think she was just clearing her head.
I mean, we can only hope. Alright. I sort of look down at my watch and go, I point at Marnie. You have 5 minutes.
I'm gonna, while that's going on, I'm gonna go into Artie, who I think is sort of like curled up mostly around the base of tree, which is quite impressive. This is a tall tree considering this is like a 20-foot mech. But it's sort of like stretched up around it, partially around it with the long limbs, and like gets in and just like starts booting up the scanners. Like, I imagine like looking at but this is like very close to to Aureen and like our little site. So, but it's still within sight, but you see sort of like the command pod light up as like Junie boots up systems. Like, she's left like the hatch open so you can see her and see what she's doing, but she did not ask permission to do that. She has literally just gone and started doing it.
Yep. Burst is just gonna sort of go, like, roll her eyes and just move on. Also, I wasn't sure if we had other people with us, like NPCs or whatever, like in our crash. Like if we had like a larger ship that we survived, or we had a larger ship and like there were a couple of people around us. But this is good. I like what we've established here. It's like we are the only people here in the middle.
Do you have your animal companion yet?
No.
Okay. I eagerly await this scene.
I have not yet made friends with my animal companion.
Duly noted.
There are a lot of goofy names that I could probably pull from at this point, because I have a lot of goofy names for various ranger pets. But I think I know which one I'm going with.
Alright, so Marnie gives kind of like a sloppy salute and heads out into the night to find Kiki. Hi, it's August, and I just wanted to thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed us, please consider leaving a rating on your podcast platform of choice, telling your friends about us, or tweeting about us using the FTLcast hashtag. We are also part of a nonprofit podcasting guild called Standing Stones Productions. We do a variety of shows, including The Room Where It Happened and Dumb Kids Playing Hero, 2 actual play shows, and a Steven Universe discussion podcast called Gay Space Rocks. We also do live streams at twitch.tv/standingstonesprod. You can keep up with everything that we do on Twitter at stones_standing. Unfortunately, Standing Stones was already taken. Your support means a lot. Thanks again!